Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome back to another Stock Kings YouTube video. And today we'll be going over Sundial Growers Inc., ticker symbol SNDL. We're going to be going over why this stock has been dropping so much recently. They have dropped almost 7.5% just of yesterday. We'll also be hitting on some legalization news, and we'll also be going into why they have not made any acquisitions as of yet. So if you have any interest in this stock, this is something that you are definitely going to want to stick around for. But before we get into any of that, if you guys enjoy this type of content, please drop a like, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you know whenever we come out with new videos. And I also have my Instagram link down below if you'd be interested in following that. I post new details about this channel daily, so if you want to keep up more to date with what's going on with this channel, please drop a follow on that. But getting right into this daily chart here on Sundial, we can see we have a pretty substantial drop off here, falling below the 50 EMA. We come down to test a support here, and then we come up and reject off the resistance of the 50 AMA, and that is where we see the dramatic drop in share price that we saw yesterday of 7.5%. We are still trading below this 50 EMA as well as above the 200 EMA, and we are entering into sort of a oversold territory here on the RSI. However, we are pretty close to the middle, so it's a little too early to make any judgments on that. But let's get right into why SNDL has been dropping so much recently. So if we go over here to their SEC filings, they have just offered a shelf registration of their common stock to the public. And this offering amounts up to $800 million of common shares. So what this basically means is they have filed with the SEC to have $800 million worth of shares on the shelf, which is totally different from a share offering because this $800 million will not be out into the public right away. Instead of, like I said before, it will be up on the shelf, so whenever they need the cash, they can offer these shares to the public, which will then influx a bunch of cash on their books, getting them ready to make any kind of investment decisions that they need at that time, which I think is very smart of them with all of the legalization news that we'll be getting into later in the video. But this is why this stock price has been dropping so dramatically as of recent for SNDL, because offerings like this are dilutive to the stock. What this does is it offers a bunch of new shares into the market, into the public. So what makes the shares already available to the public less valuable by reducing your overall equity in the company. If there's only, let's say, for example, 100 shares and you own 10 of them, if they offer 100 more shares, this then drops your shares from being 10% to only around 5%. So that makes it a lot different. Definitely reduces your equity in the overall company and makes the shares that you currently own less valuable. So this is why the stock price has been dropping a little bit recently. But this is definitely on the long-term scope of things going to help this company out for their long-term growth as a company. If you come over here for the use of proceeds, it says we intend to use the net proceeds, if any, from this offering for the financing of possible acquisitions of or investments in equipment, facilities, assets, equity, or debt of other businesses, products, or technologies, and for working capital and general corporate purposes. So this is where you see again them talking about possible acquisitions, and they also have that merger with SAF, which will help them with their investments and acquisitions. However, we have not heard any news as of recent about any acquisitions. So we've been waiting for a long time to hear about possible acquisitions, but I will be getting into why they have not said anything about possible acquisitions, which is related to the legalization news here in America. But just one thing I also want to point in on is the long-term outlook of SNDL from this offering. So when SNDL does an offering like this, they know that the short term, the stock price is going to drop. but they are not worried about that. They are looking at the long-term growth of this company, which is a very bullish move on management of SNDL's part. So if you are a long-term investor in SNDL and you see this stock going up in the long term, this is something that is very, very good news for you. If you are a short-term investor, this is something that you do not want to see. However, for myself, I am a long-term investor, so I like to see moves from management like this for SNDL. However, I am not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. So everything I say on this channel is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Please do your own due diligence when making trades. But let's get right into this legalization news and why I think SNDL has not made any news of any acquisitions. So if we go over here to this article, we can see New York isn't the only state trying to legalize flower. So we've talked a lot about this on this channel recently, that New York was very close to getting legalization in their state. But if we scroll down a little bit here, we can see that more states are in the pipeline, especially along the East Coast. And for those of you who do not know, SNDL is a Canadian corporation, so they have their main business in Canada, where flower is legalized all the time, 24/7, recreational, no matter where you are in Canada. So Virginia is one of these states that is democratically controlled, which Democrats are known to be more lenient when it comes to legalization of recreational flower. We also have Pennsylvania here, which is trying to fully legalize in their state. And we have New Mexico as well, who is including legalization in legislation priorities this year. So currently we have 15 states have voted to legalize fully adult flower use by the state-by-state movement. Goes to show that the shifting attitudes towards criminal justice and flower use, and perhaps some recognizing a revenue source, which I think is a key part of this article, are bringing about a real policy changes at the state level. So, with these states realizing that flower recreationally can be a new revenue source, that is huge for companies like SNDL. And I think they are holding on to this cash and having this shelf offering, so they'll have money on the shelf. They'll have this ready just in case when they see more legalization news in the US, they will be ready to move into new markets in the United States outside of Canada. That is why I think we have not seen any acquisition news for SNDL as of yet. They're waiting to hear about some more legalization news so they can structure themselves to be more closer to those states where it is legal. That is my opinion about why SNDL has not made any acquisition news as of yet. However, I want to hear from you guys. Why do you think SNDL has not made an acquisition as of yet, even though they have all of this cash available on hand with no debt? So let me know in the comments what you guys think about that as well. But let's get right back into this chart here on SNDL. We can go over here, have a look on the daily chart. Let's break down. We have a naked chart here on SNDL. So we're going absolutely fresh on this. We can see here it definitely created support off this rejection here on this bullish candle on the daily, and we can also see we have pretty strong rejections off of the resistance on the 50 EMA. So this is kind of the area that we're playing around in currently. And if we do break below the support here, we can expect it to fill this wick here. As I talk a lot on this channel, these empty wicks are like breadcrumbs for price to follow in the past price action. So be aware of that if it does break below that support. The next kind of resistance area that I like in this range would be probably around this area here. You can see that price came up, rejected off in the most recent price action, so I like that as a resistance. And I also like this area here to be our next resistance line. Going even further back in past price action, we can see that it wicks up as well as we get a full rejection off this candle here. We can also see price coming up to here and stopping at a resistance at 297, and then we'll put our final resistance at the top here at 397. We have no price above 397, so we cannot make any support and resistance lines in this zone. So looking kind of here at the recent price action, what we'll be hoping for is a break above the 50 EMA as well as our resistance at 129, and that will be your key indication that price will be moving bullish. However, if we continue down and break below support, we can expect it to continue down to our 93-cent level, and as well we can probably put a very strong support here at the 200 EMA. So those are kind of our support and resistances on the daily levels. Those are your long-term key levels if you are a long-term investor in SNDL. But we can take a look at the 30-minute if you are more of a short-term investor. What I would like to see is a break above the 50 EMA. We are trading on the 30-minute, both below the 50 EMA as well as the 200 EMA. And then I would like a break above this level here at this resistance. As you can see, price comes up to 122 and rejects off of it pretty harsh, as you can see this strong bearish candle here. So what I will be hoping for in this area is us to come up and break above 117. However, if we do continue bearish, we have kind of showed support here off of this candle right here, rejecting off of this zone. So we're kind of playing around in this zone, and what I want to see, we can play this out here, is a break above this 50 EMA, and we'll want strong candles. As you can see, this candle tries in this area here, but we do not get a break above. We get a rejection off. We will want green candles above the 117 resistance. That is where we'll be entering a buy position. We're putting stops just below our resistance at 117, depending either on a percentage of your position or off candle structure. I prefer candle structure. However, we do not have candle structure as of yet, as this is playing based off what we think will happen in the future. After we hit our first price target at 122, we'll be taking partial profits at this time, reducing our overall position and risk. So then we'll then be moving up to 130. Price will then be here at 122. And again, we have a massive stop loss. So we'll be trailing our stop loss either as a percentage or off candle structure. And this is what this does. It does not allow price to move below our support and take us out in a loss. It instead ensures that we come out of this at a gain, protecting your capital. After that, what I would like to do is come up to this 200 EMA, as it will be a key resistance level. We can actually draw this out so you guys can see this a little better, but the 200 EMA is definitely a key resistance. Price will then move up to 130. And again, massive stop loss in this area. So we will be reducing our risk by moving this up as well and protecting our money. But that's all the information I had for you guys today on Sundial Growers Inc., ticker symbol SNDL. If you enjoyed this video and you found value in it, please drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on post notifications so you know whenever we come out with new videos, and I also have my Instagram linked down below if you'd be interested in following that. But as always, guys, I hope you have an excellent day, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.